To solve absolute value equation problems, you need to remember that the absolute value of x is equal to a if and only if x is equal to a or x is equal to minus a. So to do all of these problems, you're going to wind up drawing a line down the center of your paper and solving two different equalities. So suppose I have the absolute value of 2x minus 1 is equal to 5. How would I solve this? Well, I know 2x minus 1 is equal to 5, or, and I like to put a big or there, 2x minus 1 is equal to minus 5. And I always put the minus sign on the side that does not have the absolute value. So I'm going to solve these separately. To solve this one, I'm going to add 1 to both sides. So 2x, that cancels, is equal to 6. To get rid of the 2, I divide through by 2. So x is equal to 3. Or, now, if it helps, draw a giant line down the center of your page. I want to get rid of the negative 1, so I'm going to add 1 to both sides. So 2x goes away is equal to negative 4. To get rid of the 2, I'm going to divide through by 2. So x is equal to negative 2. So the answer is x is equal to 3 or x is equal to negative 2. To graph it, come up here and graph it. We should check these. Let me try. I like to check. To check x equals 3, the absolute value of 2 times 3 minus 1. All I'm trying to do is get a true statement. This the absolute value is 6 minus 1. So this is the absolute value of 5. And indeed, this does equal 5. When I put in the negative 2, I have the absolute value of 2 times negative 2 minus 1. So this is the absolute value of negative 4 minus 1. So this is the absolute value of negative 5. And indeed, that does equal 5. So all you're trying to do is to get this true statement here. Now, sometimes they're a little bit more complicated. So the first thing you need to do when you have an equality like this, it has stuff next to the absolute value, is isolate the absolute value, get it completely by itself. So the first thing I'm going to do is to add 1 to both sides. So I'm going to have 3 times the absolute value of x plus 2 is equal to 9. And then I'm going to divide through by 3. So the absolute value of x plus 2 is equal to 3. Now it's the same sort of problem I just did. So x plus 2 is equal to 3, or x plus 2 is equal to minus 3. So this becomes x is 1, or x is minus 5. We want to check, and to check, you always go back to your original equation. So 3 times the absolute value of 1 plus 2 minus 1. Does this equal 8? Well, this is 3 times the absolute value of 3 minus 1, which is 3. That's 3, so that's 3 times 3 is 9 minus 1, which indeed it does equal 8. Let's check this one here. 3 times the absolute value of minus 5 plus 2 minus 1. Does that equal 8? And usually I just work with one side. That's why you see me abandoning one side. If I can get one side to equal to the other, then I consider myself a success. So negative 5 plus 2 is negative 3. So this is, the absolute value of negative 3 is 3. So this is 9 minus 1, which is indeed 8. So it does check. To graph this, I'm going to graph x equals 1 and x equals negative 5. Whenever you have an equal sign, you're going to wind up with points for your answers. Now, what do you do when you have an x in there? Well, we're definitely going to have to check for extraneous solutions for this one. Let's do exactly what we've been doing. I've got the absolute value isolated. So it's going to be two branches. So 3x plus 2 is equal to 4x plus 5, or 3x plus 2 is equal to minus 4x plus 5. Now this side we're going to come deal with in a minute. Let's do this side first. Let me get all of my x terms on one side and my non-x terms on the other side. So let me subtract 3x from both sides. So that goes away. So 2 is x plus 5. Subtract 5 from both sides. So x is negative 3. I'm going to go ahead and check this one. So you plug back into your original equation, the absolute value of 3 times negative 3 plus 2, does that equal to 4 times negative 3 plus 5? Now, this becomes what? Negative 9 plus 2. So this is negative 12 plus 5. And I want to show you something. As soon as I get the absolute value of anything is equal to a negative number, I know this cannot be. This is an extraneous solution. Extraneous just means extra. It is entirely possible this has no solutions. But let's try this one. Let's try this side here. So I'm a nice long line here because these are going to be a little bit longer. I'm going to take this negative and I'm going to distribute it to both terms. So I have 3x plus 2 is equal to, let's see, minus 1 times 4x is minus 4x minus 5. Now I'm going to add 4x to both sides. It's an x. So when I do that, I have 7x plus 2 is equal to negative 5. I want to get rid of the 2, so I'm going to subtract 2. So 7x is equal to negative 7. To get the x completely by itself, I divide through by 7. So x is negative 1. Now we had a problem with this one, so we need to check this one, this side as well. Check. I'm going to write this a little small because I'm running out of room here. The absolute value of 3 times negative 1 plus 2 is equal to 4 times negative 1 plus 5. I don't know. Is this a true statement or not? Negative 3 times 1 is negative 3. So this is negative 3 plus 2 equal to negative 4 plus 5. So this is the absolute value of negative 1. And this side is positive 1. So indeed, I get 1 equal to 1. This is a solution. So the only solution to this equality is when x is equal to negative